After reading the biography, I said, I cannot remain without joining. One of the things that made me definitely determined to join as a full-time missionary is, for the first thing I told, preaching Vachanchalapti Prabhu. The other thing that made me really definitely decide to join is reading Srila Prabhupada's biography. After reading the biography, I said, I cannot remain without joining. Because what Prabhupada has done for us, we cannot ever repay Prabhupada. Whatever we may do as service in this movement, we cannot repay Prabhupada. So that one pastime of Prabhupada, that he went to America with great difficulty on board a cargo ship. 37 days he traveled, seasickness, enduring seasickness and 2 heart attacks. And after landing in America, what would you expect? Somebody is an elderly person, has undergone 2 heart attacks. There was no doctor on board the ship. It was not a passenger ship at all. It was a cargo ship. So there were few employees of that Scindia steamship company. They were meant to do some duties on board the ship. And there was a captain and his wife. That's all, some 5-6 people. So Prabhupada did not disclose to anybody that he had a heart attack. Besides that, after landing in America, Prabhupada forgot, Prabhupada forgot completely about the heart attack. He never went to a doctor or a heart specialist, even though he had a host with whom he stayed for 1 month, the one who was sponsoring his travel and his stay in America. One Gopal Agarwal, son of a businessman in Agra. One Mr. what was his name? Some other Agarwal. Gopal's father. So this Gopal was working after studying in America. After studying, he was working in America. He settled down in America. He had married an American. So Gopal Agarwal was the host. Prabhupada never told him that I want to visit a doctor or a cardiologist because I had a heart attack. Never told him. So Prabhupada was completely focused on carrying out the order of his Guru to preach this message, especially in the English-speaking countries. And at what cost, at any cost, whatever it takes to do it, Prabhupada was determined. And after reaching America, he was quite comfortable in one sense that his host was very generous, very nicely they were taking care of Prabhupada. But Prabhupada said the place he was residing was a small town. And even though he was quite comfortable, but he wanted to preach, reach out to people who are interested. So he left that comfortable place, went to New York City, because New York City is the happening place in America. He went to New York City. Another acquaintance, one yoga teacher, Dr. Ramurthy Mishra, who was having a yoga studio. They used to call it yoga studio, yoga classes. So he went and tried to stay with Ramurthy Mishra and tried to preach Krishna Consciousness. But even in Ramurthy's, this Mishra's studio, only some very elite people who were interested in yoga, Hatha Yoga, but they didn't take any interest in Prabhupada's preaching about Bhakti Yoga, about Krishna Consciousness. Then Prabhupada met a youngster who expressed interest. He was just about 30 years old, one Raymond. He was very interested in learning yoga, but he didn't have idea of Hatha Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, nothing. So he asked, when he met Prabhupada, on one of on the streets of New York. He said, "Swamiji, can you teach me yoga?" Prabhupada said, "Yes, I can teach you." So then Prabhupada asked him, "Where do you stay?" He said, "I stay in one small room in one place." That was the place which was very, 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 what do you say? It was like a slum of New York. Slum of New York. Prabhupada did not know all this. So Prabhupada went and started staying with him and teaching him Bhakti Yoga. And this person happened to be one of the hippies. So he was into drugs. So one day when he became, he had taken drugs, and he came and he started speaking all nonsense. And then he came to attack Prabhupada. And Prabhupada had to somehow go away from that place. And there was one more boy who was coming, Michael Grant, Mukunda. Later on he became a disciple of Prabhupada, Mukunda. So Mukunda actually hosted Prabhupada to stay with Mukunda. Prabhupada went. So Prabhupada took so much compassion upon the suffering people that at any cost he wanted to give Krishna consciousness to this misled people, especially the youth. And Prabhupada was willing to do anything for them. So this really touched my heart, and I thought that nobody can be as compassionate as Prabhupada and the whole world. We don't have any account of even people who are interested in practicing and preaching about spirituality. Nobody takes so much trouble on suffering souls to actually somehow give them Krishna consciousness and save them. And Prabhupada, after this, some boys and girls got attracted, Prabhupada made them stay with him in order to train them, in order to guide them, in order to coach them, in order to help them actually nicely understand and practice Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada used to cook for them a first class prasadam feast, and he would teach them patiently. Whatever mistakes they would do, Prabhupada would be very, 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 very patient. You can imagine somebody who doesn't have any cultural background like we have in India. You see, Prabhupada would teach them everything: wearing dhoti, not eating with the left hand, eating with the right hand, washing the hands after eating, every single detail that our parents teach us when we are small children, at least in India. Everything Prabhupada had to teach them. Every single thing. And these Americans, they will not simply do what they're told to do. They will, if at all they're told to do something, they say, "Why should I do like that? What is the reason? What is wrong if I don't do that?" They'll argue. Prabhupada patiently will answer all their questions. Never become upset with them. Never become impatient. Never lose heart. So this particular way in which Prabhupada started Krishna Consciousness is the most heart-touching. That at any cost he was ready to give Krishna consciousness to the most unfortunate people he